Hi, I'm Larry Robertson with Aon Invent. We're the collaborative engineering and design group working with inventor Tom Ramanga on this awesome product, the flush-down toilet seat closer. You may notice that the diameter of the flush-down toilet seat closer mechanism is just a little less than a regular paper toilet paper roll. Okay? The reason we mention that is that this toilet paper roll, if you can put one under your existing toilet seat over the bolt that holds your existing toilet seat on, and if there's room, horizontal room for that, then there's room for the flush down toilet mechanism. There are toilet seats on the market where this structure actually would prevent one from holding the toilet paper roll in place like I have here. So if there's not room for this, there won't be room for this. The mechanism itself, I want to explain just the overall concept. And it's fairly simple. We use a weighted float, and we call it a weighted float because there's a hole in this device that allows water to fill up to provide the weight to trigger the closing mechanism when you flush, but yet it will still float, so hence the weighted float. There's a clip on the strap that we will show you in a moment that fits on the back of the toilet tank, the water tank, to provide a smooth point for the strap to slide. And then this is the core of the mechanism. This is the spring loaded toilet seat closer, and it has a adjustable plunger up here at the top, a spring housing with a piston pin that is activated when your toilet is flushed. The arm comes up, releases the spring loaded piston, which closes the toilet seat. And let me just set this aside, and I'll show you what you receive when you order the flush down. You receive a box like this. You open the device. It comes in two types. There's a round toilet seat and an elongated. The elongated is probably what 80% of you have, and then this is the round version. And inside the package, there's instructions, written instructions. We try to make this as clear as possible, and if not, let me know. And then a bag with the mechanism itself, the flush down mechanism, and then your slow close lid. Again, in either round or elongated. So the first thing you do when you take your mechanism out of your package is take this plunger pad off, unscrew it, and set it to the side, and then remove this oval threaded washer and set it to the side. You might ask, why did we put them on there in the first place? It's just so you'll be familiar with where they go back. So there's two shafts. There's a threaded shaft that comes out of the spring housing, and then there's this piston pin that slides up and down. Okay, now we've removed the old toilet seat and cast it aside, and we've taken the lid off of the water tank. The first thing that we want to do is take the two toilet flange bushings and put them in the hole. It's one for each side. Take your slow close flush down toilet seat, put it roughly in position, but before we do the installation, we need to look down inside the tank and determine which side the weighted float and the mechanism needs to go. Here you'll see there's a lot going on this side, so the most obvious position and location would be right here on this side. Okay, now that we know that the mechanism is going to go on this side, okay, we'll take the mechanism, we want to set it off to the side while we set the tethered float off to the side, and we take the spring-loaded mechanism and we put that up through the hole. Hold that in place, and next take the threaded washer and slip that over the mechanism. And you want to make sure that you stop at a point where the threaded tube is just coming up through the center of the threaded washer. And we want to make sure that it's positioned so that the shaft, the piston shaft, is closest to the water tank. And when you look at the threaded nut, you'll see that the hole is closer to one side than the other. Now, you can install it in either direction. Let me show you. Right there, you can see it's installed so that the shaft is closest to the seat, but that's wrong. And in that position, it will be impossible for you to put your hinge cover on. It won't fit on because this shaft is in the wrong position. But if we turn it 1/2 a turn, now it will allow us to fit the hinge cover on because it's in the right position. Now, once that's in place, we can screw the thumb nut at the bottom until it starts to tighten up. There we go, it's starting to tighten up. And we stop when it's not quite as tight as it will go. And then we'll put the plastic bolt on the other side and reach under here and start that on the thread. I realize it's a bit easier to do this when you have a convenient stage prop 3.5 feet off the ground. And the only tool that you'll need for this is a screwdriver, and you may frankly not even need the screwdriver. But if you do need a tool, it will just be the screwdriver to make the final adjustments on that toilet flange bolt. Okay? So now we will adjust this and get it in final position. Tighten it down like that. And we'll install the hinge caps. Now there's 2 hinge caps. You'll see there's one with a hole and there's a solid hinge cap. The solid one goes opposite to the mechanism, and the one with the hole slips over the flush down mechanism. Okay? Like that. Now we'll take the weighted float, making sure that we're avoiding any twist in the strap. We put the clip on the back of the tank on the side that has the fewest number of obstacles. Install the weighted float. The float, again, it has a hole here on both sides. That's to allow it to fill with water once it's placed in the tank. And we're just going to hold it down, let it fill until we quit hearing the bubbles. Okay. And then we can just quickly just tilt to dump the extra water out on the top. And then we'll position the strap clip. Now, in many toilets, there'll be an indentation on both sides. If that's the case, we'll put the clip down inside that indentation. The strap clip fits over the back of the toilet tank, and one of them comes threaded onto the strap that connects the lever mechanism with the weighted float. And the reason that we give you two is that not every toilet tank will have the knockout here in the back. And if it is a straight back and you have to, and you don't have that divot, your tank will rock like this. So we give you a second one just to balance out the lid if you need it to put on the other side. And that way you get a good firm mount. However, if you have this recess, you will not need this second clip. Okay? So we've got the clip installed with the strap, making sure there's no twist in the strap. If this strap gets twisted, that can prevent the float from dropping and from coming back up, and it can prevent the mechanism from working properly. It's a very simple thing to avoid. Just you can run your finger down the strap and make sure that it's even, it's not twisted. And that's essentially the basis of the installation. Now, the next thing that we want to do is come down to the acorn nut on the end of the lever arm, and we'll make an adjustment here. So the first thing we'll do in this step is install the plunger pad, and when the toilet seat comes up, it pushes the piston pin down, and you notice that the lever dropped into the lowest position. So let's just check and make sure that we've eliminated the excessive slack and allow this lever arm to come down to the full position. And one other thing at this stage that you'll want to adjust, I'll show you here, is you see in this case the lever is locked into the position, but the seat's not staying up. That's because it's too far forward. So we make a simple adjustment by turning small amount at a time on the piston pad until the seat will remain up. And we can just manually test it there and see that it drops back into place. Okay, now with this in place, we're going to go ahead and try our mechanism. It flushed, the water level went down, the weight went down, triggered the lever arm, released the piston pin, and closed the lid. And it will work like that every single time once you have it in position. Now, we've heard from customers who participated in our beta test of this product, and they said, well, there are times that they don't want this toilet seat to close with every flush. While that's the primary function of the flush down device, if you're scrubbing your toilet, or if maybe you use your toilet to rinse out cloth diapers, you don't want this thing closing on you every time you flush. So in that case, what you do is you slide this lock mechanism, very simple, into position, and now no matter what happens, it will not close. It will not release itself. So you can do your maintenance on your toilet, you can rinse your diapers, whatever you need to do, and then when you're finished, you can push this sliding lock back into position, And then when the toilet is flushed the next time, the arm will come up and it will continue to close. Okay, now that our device is installed, we'll make one final check on the slack of the strap. Lift the toilet up, make a final adjustment here. We want to lower that a bit more so the seat comes back just a bit. Check our wing nuts on the bottom. Check the slack there. It's letting the arm go down all the way. And again, one more demonstration on the lock mechanism, which is just as easy as sliding it into position. If you want to deactivate the flush down, bring it back here, and you've reactivated it. And again, do a test flush. Works like a champ every time. And that's all there is to it. If you have any trouble at all, there's a note right on your instruction sheet. Please give us a call. We'll take care of it right away. We can, in most cases, walk you through it. And that's about all there is. But we really appreciate your business. Thank you so much for buying the Flush Down Automatic Toilet Seat Closer.